says, brother says, I have only more recently started practicing more recently and wear a thobe and a kufi, etc. most of the time as it is convenient when praying. However, people tell me it is unnecessary and I should wear what the people of this country wear. I am from the UK.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd. First and foremost, we give you congratulations and glad tidings of practicing Islam, learning Islam, following Islam. Walillahi alhamd. Allah has truly blessed you, and you have made a great decision for the well-being of your soul, your body, and your mind in this life and in the hereafter. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you firm, to keep you strong. And we personally advise you to learn as much as you can of the authentic hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the true understanding, the meanings of those hadith. We ask you, we advise you, we beseech you, we call out to you, we beg you to learn your deen, seek beneficial knowledge, learn what Allah says, what the Rasul says, understand the words of Allah, the words of the Rasul of Allah, according to what the ulama explain and lay down in detail. Once you do that, everything will become clear, step by step, piece by piece. So that's my personal advice to you. The more knowledge that you have, the better your deen will be. Hopefully, subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as the question, with regards to wearing a thobe in the UK or America, it's unnecessary. It's not from the dress of the people, so on and so on and so forth. We said is that there's several ways of answering this question, but let's just say one who tells you this is somebody of ilm, knowledge, true knowledge, and they practice the deen, they follow the sunnah, they learn, they respect the different ulama, they're always in the books, they've studied, and they advise you with that. But that's one thing. That's one thing. Perhaps he's right. Perhaps he has some point of view by saying that. Your people in your country, they wear pants, they wear trousers, they don't wear robes or thobes or dresses. That's in the Middle East, or that's in West Africa or North Africa, or whatever the case may be. So you should dress like the people in your country. It doesn't mean that you don't have to be a Muslim, you're not representing yourself as a Muslim, but you don't necessarily have to wear this. Everybody understand this? Even if he held the view that it's unnecessary. We're going to get to that part. As far as if the person who said this to you is someone who doesn't have knowledge, or has a little bit of knowledge and a lot of ignorance, or someone that is influenced by the non-Muslims and by the superiority of Western culture, Western science, Western tradition, and everything that's Western is better and bigger than that of the Muslims or that of the East, that's a different story. As for someone who is apologetic, someone who wishes to fit in and blend in and not be pointed out and singled out as a Muslim or a terrorist or Wahhabi or this and that and so on, and a foreigner and an immigrant, that's also what? Another scenario. Or someone who picks and chooses what they want. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah said this, you have to follow it. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah explained this in 30 pages. No. That's one of his mistakes. He made an error. Don't listen to him. Don't follow him. The ulama of Islam have consensus on this. However, it's 2016. It's progressive fiqh. The ulama of Islam hold this. Don't go against it. Somebody that follows their desires. They take what they want to take. They reject what they want to reject. What's convenient, what's inconvenient for them, they flip and they flop, they flounder and fiqh, let alone in aqidah and other things. And there are many people like this. So if this person, this speaker who said this, he's from one of these groups, then don't listen to anything he has to say. As far as if it's one from the first group, sit down, talk with him, discuss it with him. Please explain to me, what's the proof, what's the evidence? I was taught that a Muslim is to be distinguished. I was taught that a Muslim should be proud to be a Muslim. And every meaning of the word pride and proud. My dress, my walk, my talk, my food, nothing that I do is to be exactly the same as what the non-Muslims do. That's what I thought. That's what I read in the Quran. That's what I thought of the Prophet, etc. How did I know about Islam except that I saw the Muslims walking down the street with their beards, with their qamises on, with their niqabs on, with their turbans on, with their leather socks on? How did I even hear about Islam or come to practice the deen unless I did what? a distinction. A man with pants, with a shirt, with a tie, a bow tie, full beard, a trimmed beard. How can I know who isn't a Muslim unless through what? Distinction. How do you know that the people are what? Security, unless they're what? And then when they're hidden security or private security, it's made to be what? That you can't see them for a purpose of not being recognized and pointed out. Everybody understand this? This is very crucial now to think critically. So you ask him, and if he gives you an explanation from the kitab, from the authentic sunnah, from the consensus of the ulama, that's clear to you, that you understand it makes sense, then take it. And if it's not from the kitab, it's not from the authentic sunnah, it's not from the ijma', it's something that doesn't make sense to you, it's not clear to you, then do what? Don't take it. As far as those who flip and they flop, then you shouldn't listen to them, period. And we have many of them in America, in New York City, and many other places. Don't wear thobe because Ibn Taymiyyah said this. How many things did Ibn Taymiyyah say that you don't do? How many things Ibn Taymiyyah was staunchly against that you perform and fall into? So let's stop the fake piety, okay? Let's stop the what? The fake piety. What is wrong with dressing and wearing a thobe? How is it unnecessary? What do the kuffar say when they see you with a thobe? Excuse me, what is this called? Where'd you get this from? Where is this made? How many people that night, Sharif, in Walmart? Well, they said that the Muslims are intimidating when they wear thobes. How many people said, hello, how you doing? It's in aisle 6, so on and so forth. And what were we wearing? You have a full beard. I don't have a beard. Everybody understand this? So we don't agree with that that's unnecessary. Rather, we encourage Muslim men to wear thobes. It's not mandatory. It's not obligatory. But the view that states that it's unnecessary and you should fit in with the people of the country, we do not agree with that staunchly. Rather, we feel that a Muslim should be distinguished. He does not have to wear a thobe. It's not mandatory. But we feel that the Muslim man should be distinguished with a beard, a kufi, and a thobe, and izar, a long shirt, whatever traditional clothing that you wear that's from the clothes of the Muslims. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sunnah, but it's known that it's from the what? Clothing of the Muslims. When someone sees you, they need a question asked or answered, they need help, you're in trouble, they say, that's a what? That's a Muslim. You may go somewhere, you may be in a jam, there may be a difficulty, and they say, go ahead, brother. Come on, brother. Go ahead, beloved. And they may not even be Muslim, but my cousin's Muslim. My uncle's Muslim. I was in jail with a Muslim. I heard about Muslims. Muslim men, Muslim women have a reputation being clean, being honest, being upfront. So that idea that all of the kuffar are afraid and scared of a beard and of a thobe is not true. That's a fallacy. That's kadhib. That's wrong. Everybody understand this? So we advise you to wear your thobe, to be a proud Muslim, to follow the sunnah. And in general, it is the sunnah to wear these types of clothes. In general, loose-fitting clothes, modest clothes. The Prophet ﷺ's most beloved garment, the qamis. Having the thobe at the middle of the shin, above the ankles, covering the head. These are all things that are supported in the authentic sunnah. Some specifically and others generally. And others what? Others generally. So what is the dalil from kitab and sunnah and ijma' that you must conform to all of the traditions of the people of your country? Where is that? Billah alayk, by Allah, please bring it. Tafaddal. Only from those three sources, kitab, sunnah, and ijma'. Rather, when a person looks in the kitab, sunnah, ijma', he's going to find the exact opposite. The authentic hadith are going to tell us and teach us the exact opposite. Everybody understand this? So that's my opinion. That is my view. Those who say that it's unnecessary, I feel that they are far from the authentic hadith and far from reality and the benefits of looking like a Muslim. Or it's okay. You can wear pants. You can wear a shirt. The beard is not always obligatory. You can trim it. You can shape it up. You can shave the neck. You can trim it down. You can cut it down. And you keep compromising and compromising and more and more and more and more and more. It's bad. It's not haram. Have your pants beneath your ankle. It doesn't have to be that loose. The custom of the people is to wear tight-fitting clothes. Expose yourself. But what about your wife? Well, how is your wife covered? What does she dress like? What is she wearing? It's okay because perfume is from the tradition of the people of the UK. So let your wife wear perfume. And let her uncover her hair. And wear tight. And then this goes on next time you have nothing left from your deen. So we don't advise with that at all. And we feel that that is totally erroneous. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Is there a will template that you recommend and like, and where can you find it?
A will template that I recommend and like, I don't have a specific one that I would recommend or I like. There are many. There are many. What are that hummed? Some you can find online, some in books. There are many. Rather too many for me to just say which one I like and which one I don't like. Al-Muhim is that you, first and foremost, you have to learn about the will. What is to be in the will. Some of those templates have things that aren't necessarily from the will. Some of those templates may have things that are unnecessary, big. Everybody understand this? So you get a will bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. If you have a specific will that you've found, you've come across, take it to your local imam, your local mufti, your local qadi, and ask him, sit down in front, in person. If you want our opinion on a specific will template, you can send it, what? Via the website, and bi-idhnillah we can look at it and give you our opinion on a specific template. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
You got a question here from the other night. Should we still treat the masjids in the West with the rulings of the masjids such as title masjid, etc.?
As far as the masjids in the West, are they still to be treated with the rulings of a masajid or musallayat? We say if a masjid is not an actual masjid, quote unquote, and actually a musalla, quote unquote, then they take the ahkam of the masajid. They take the rulings of the masjids, if not most of the rulings of the masjid, such as tahiyatul masjid, eating, sleeping, drinking, buying and selling, etc. So even if they aren't quote unquote masjids, many of them will take the what? The rulings of the masjids. And if they don't take all of the rulings, then they'll take many, if not most of them. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
About the baby's urine. Do you have to wash the urine once the baby starts eating? If it's just one meal a day, or when the majority of the meals come from food and not breast milk?
Question with regards to baby's urine. What we were speaking about last night. The breastfeeding child, the child was being weaned, so on and so forth. The ulama, they say that the hadith says, لَمْ يَأْكُلِ الطَّعَامِ. It didn't eat food. What's meant by that? لَمْ يَسْتَغْنِي عَنِ اللَّبَنِ. Is that the baby cannot do without breast milk. It has one meal from the table, some bites, some pieces, some mush, some this and some that, carrots, peas, honey from time to time, but it must have breast milk until the point and the time comes in which they can wake up and go to sleep without any breast milk. Then they're still not of that level. Even if they have a little bit of food from what? Here and there. So that's what's meant by not eating food, is that they cannot do without the breast milk. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Obviously this is going to be something that's going to be well known by a woman. Whereas the baby may need breast milk just to go to sleep. The baby may need breast milk just to stop crying. But in actuality, the baby is what? It can do without the breast milk. And it's towards the end of the second year, and she's weaning them off it gently, slowly, piece by piece. But the baby can do without the milk. Wallahu a'lam.
Well, that's a question. If I choose a product from a catalog and there's an agreement to purchase it, and the seller goes out to purchase it, then it is delivered, and I pay him for it upon delivery, is this transaction halal?
The people of knowledge say it is permissible to buy and to sell online, as long as the product is known, the price is known, and as long as an accurate description is given of the product. An accurate description that is close and approximate as much as possible. You may go somewhere, you may be in person, you may touch a thing, you may feel a thing, you may look at a thing, you may read the specs of a thing, the description of a thing, the reviews of a thing, and it still may be something that's on and off, something that you didn't see, something that you didn't realize, an extra feature. Wow, I don't know it did that. I don't know how it's at that same price and it has this extra feature on it. So that's not necessarily haram. And the ulama of Islam, they mention that there's nothing wrong with slight jahala. Al-jahala al-yasir, they say. Or al-gharar al-yasir. A little bit of risk. A little bit of lack of knowledge. But the general specifications and descriptions of the product are clear. It's brand, it's a Sony. It has this amount of gigs inside. It has this type of battery. General. And you'll never ever know what it's like until it's actually in your hand, rather until you use it for some time. Everybody understand this? So bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, if that's what you did with those conditions, it was well known, the price, so on and so forth, and it's a permissible product, Inshallah ta'ala, the ulama, they say there's nothing wrong with that. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
My brother was praying behind the imam, and a Shia stood to the left of him and prayed upon the turaba stone. Is this permissible for me to pray standing shoulder to shoulder with him?
Tayyib. We say, fear Allah to the best of your ability. Make the salat to the best of your capability. Do what you can. You can't necessarily control who comes next to you, who stands next to you. You're not the imam of the masjid. You're to make khushu' in your salah. Who stands next to you is not your fault. It's not your problem. If someone stood next to you who didn't have wudu, if they had najasa, physical najasa or metaphysical najasa, then that's something that's beyond your control. That's what? That's beyond your control. So as long as you make your salah correctly, inshallah ta'ala, that's the only thing that you have to worry about. If you have the ability not to stand next to him, if you knew he was standing next to you, if you have the ability to prevent him from the masjid or stop the evil, then that's what you should do. And if not, then you worry about your own self with the subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah tells us in Surah Al-Ma'idah, the 5th chapter, those who are astray, those who leave the path, will not harm you as long as you have the right guidance. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Question here. What is your advice for daughters who feel they cannot be compared to their brothers in the parents' eyes because of gender? It is an issue that has caused my sister and her great grief, even in adulthood.
With regards to the brothers and sisters being compared to the eyes or in the eyes of the parents, etc., then we, as we've explained in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, the fawaid of Surah Yusuf, is that a father and a mother, the parents, the guardians, should be aware of favoritism, should be aware of being biased, should be aware of explicitly displaying their favorite child or children. Be aware of this. It's natural for some people to be closer to you than others. That's natural. As Allah tells us in chapter 33, Allah has not given a man two hearts and one chest. It just doesn't exist. It's natural for one child to be closer, one to look more like you, to have your habits for you, the first child, the baby girl. That's natural. But it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily what? Display it and show it all of the time. You always give this child a gift and not the other. You praise them. You give them claps for their accomplishments. They did good in school. Alhamdulillah, it's a party. You do good in school? Oh, alhamdulillah, mashallah, great. Go study some more. It happens all the time, unfortunately. Gifts, privileges, money, allowances. You can go, Khalid. You can't go. Yusuf, Sharif. No. Even if a person feels that way and one excels, one's brighter, one's closer, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to what? Display that. So that's first of all. That's with regards to the emotion. As far as with regards to giving, handing out things, then we know that the Prophet ﷺ said, Ittaqullah. He said, fear Allah, wa'adilu bayna awladikum, and be just among your children. An-Nu'man al-Bashir radiyallahu anhuma narrates, the hadith is in the Sahihain, that his father gave one of them a gift. And the Prophet ﷺ says, he says, did you give this gift to all of your children? He said, go back. In one narration he says, فَلَإِنِّي لَا أَشْهَدُ عَلَى جَوْرٍ. He says, I'll never bear witness and give my testimony to wrong. So you give all of your children a gift. If they have specific needs, that's a different story. You give all of your children a gift. If one works and the other doesn't, that's a different story. You pay them for their working. You sit down, you want to be lazy, he's working. I can't help that. But a gift, an actual hadiyah, is to be for everyone. Everybody understand this? The Prophet ﷺ has explained to us about those who look after orphans, about those who raise girls and look after them and teach them and care after them, how they'll be in paradise. So that's what we say with regards to the parents, is to fear Allah, the fathers and the mothers. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your boys and your girls, you should treat them as one. They're all from you. Allah gave you all of them. And some of the ulama mention that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that he gives females before males. And they say, min yumnil mar'ah, from the blessings of a woman is to have a girl first before a boy. Because Allah mentioned that in the Quran first. But that's a long discussion, as you can find in the tafsir of Qurtubi. So what is important is that Allah gives you children. They're from Allah. Yahabu. Allah says He endows. The child is a gift from Allah. So who are you to say a good gift and a bad gift? A gift that I'll accept, a gift that I'll look after, a gift that I'll cherish, a gift that I won't. That's disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all of your children, they should be looked at as gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Males, females. Those that are physically strong, those that are weak and feeble, those that are smart and intelligent, those that aren't that smart, aren't that intelligent. Those that have this characteristic and those that don't have that characteristic. They're all gifts from Allah. So you should look after those gifts and cherish those gifts. It's even worse if you look down upon them just because they're women. That's unfortunate. Your daughter may be more of a benefit to you than your own son. Your daughter may be stronger than your own sons. They may be physically stronger than her, but she may be mentally and spiritually more strong. She may have wisdom. She may take your gene, your trait that your boys didn't. They may have taken your bad traits. Only Allah knows. Allah is in control. So it doesn't make sense, let alone it's haram. It doesn't make sense to play around with your children and mistreat them, give some, don't give others. Look at them like this, look at those like that. That's wrong. And that's from the traits of Jahiliyyah, as Allah tells us in the Quran and Kareem in several places. Surah An-Nahl, Allah talks about this in other places as well. When the male is given to them, they're happy. When the female is given to them, his face is dark and downcast. He's ashamed and he's afraid. And they said that Allah Azza wa Jal had daughters that were the malaika. They didn't want the girl children, but God does. And then this goes on. It's all from Jahiliyyah. It's all from what? It's all from Jahiliyyah. So therefore, we advise the parents to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as the girls or the women now that went through this trauma or this problem, let me ask Allah to relieve your stress, relieve your anxiety. And what's important is that the worldly life is short. If someone doesn't like you or love you, even if it hurts, and it's your parents, inshallah, hopefully Ar-Rahman loves you. Ar-Rahman will love you, bid'illah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He tells us in the Quran, those who believe and those who do righteous deeds, Ar-Rahman will give them wudd. He'll give them love and affection. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
When a woman is breastfeeding her child, is her husband supposed to pay her? And what if they can't agree on the amount?
If a woman is breastfeeding, is the husband supposed to pay her? The husband is supposed to pay the ex-wife, the woman who's been divorced. He has to look after her and monetarily sustain her while she's breastfeeding his children, as Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. As far as if they're husband and wife, then there is no extra payment. Her food is already given by him. Her drink, her clothes, her house, everything that she wants and needs is supposed to be provided by the man. Rather, the man should be extra kind and extra nice because she's in a state in which her body has changed and is changing and will change more. Her mind, her feelings, these things are, we all know the different emotions, the chemicals that go on in a woman's body after she has children, when she's breastfeeding. My body's like this, I look like that, I'm not attractive anymore, so on and so on and so forth. So a husband should be even what? Even kinder. As the Prophet has told us in the authentic hadith, the best of you are those who are best to their family. And I'm the best from among you to my family. That's in general, let alone in the time in which it's what? A greater need. So that's with regards to a divorced woman. As far as if the woman is your wife, then you take care of her like any other time. But that specific amount that you pay is given to the what? The woman that's divorced. If they can't agree, then they're going to have to go to someone that can force them to agree. That's the judge. If you don't live in a Muslim country, a land of Islam, if you live on the land of the Taghut, unfortunately, and of the Taghut oppressive system, then unfortunately, if you can't agree in the masjid, if you can't come to terms, then you may have to go to the hukum of Jahiliyyah, unfortunately. Wallahu ta'ala alam. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد جزاكم الله خيرا.